John Koch got his undergraduate degree in photography at MCAD, where he also studied film, and you can see where his photography background comes into play in his new film, The Seducer. It's an adaptation of a 160-year-old Dostoevsky story called White Nights. It's premiering Friday night at MCAD as one of the marquee events in the Minneapolis Underground Film Festival. Let's talk with John and see some of his work on this edition of 3 Minute Egg.
I saw myself sitting here 15 years from now in the same depressing room, having a similar sad conversation with my roommate, who won't have grown any wiser in all of that time. The walls are the same, but they're yellower, and there's more junk laying everywhere, and the cat is dead, and the light is dim, and I'm just sitting here, gray, with this wrinkled face, feeling every bit as alone.
As I was putting this story together, I was reading Dostoevsky's The Idiot. I saw the Robert-Bresson film Four Nights of a Dreamer. That was an adaptation of a Dostoevsky story. And I think I was about 15 minutes into Bresson's film of that, and I said, this is it. This is the story I'm trying to tell, and someone has already told it better than I could. So I took my script and Dostoevsky's story and I merged them into one.
Just let her see, show her the way. You can't push her down that road, but if you just frame it and show her how much you care and let her grow into that and sort of learn to see that, then it'll work out. I'm trying to help you here. Do you hear me? I'm not an asshole, okay?
Literature is really difficult to portray in film, so that it has to be transformed into something more cinematic. And also, the story was from 1848, so there needed to be some sort of changes to it to make it relevant to contemporary society. Especially gender roles have changed a lot since then, so there are certain things that just never would have come across. I think I learned a lot through Je ne sais quoi, that I think I made a lot of mistakes with that, and that it ended up protracting out too long. Having the script a little bit, or the narrative actually more in place, and having that narrative to work around provided enough of a structure to where that we couldn't deviate too much, but that we could have this sort of space to move around in, but not really veer way off course.
As if it were the most natural thing in the world, he took my hand and led me inside, closed the door behind me, and held me tightly. I can't help the situation. I can't help how I feel about him.
I'm going into science fiction, but I in the course of researching for The Seducer, I was reading a lot of Baudrillard, the philosopher, and he talked about a science fiction that exists in present-day reality, and so that idea really intrigued me.